The scene is the LA Coliseum after the first Super Bowl ever. Max McGee is walking off the field after scoring 2 touchdowns on 138 yards. What most spectators didn't know is he played the whole game on no sleep and was hungover. This is the Max McGee story, the greatest untold story ever. Max McGee, who sounds like he could be a special CIA agent, was selected by the Packers in 1954 and had a really good season that included 9 touchdowns, the most of his career. When he returned from the Air Force and was 28, Vince Lombardi took over the team and McGee hit his prime while winning NFL championships. By the time he was 34, his age really started to get to him, and he only went for 4 receptions the whole year. McGee expected to retire after Super Bowl I between the NFL champion Green Bay Packers and the AFL champion Kansas City Chiefs. Coach Lombardi took Super Bowl I very seriously. He raised fines for curfew, but that didn't stop McGee, who snuck out after the 11 p.m. curfew to meet 2 flight attendants and drank most of the night. He would return at 6:30 in the morning and pass by legendary quarterback Bart Starr in the hotel. In the wide receiver meeting before the game, McGee tells the wide receiver ahead of him, quote, "Whatever you do, don't go down today. I had too many drinks and didn't get much sleep." The opposite happened as Bowler hurt his shoulder on the 3rd play of the game, giving for McGee to come in. McGee couldn't find his helmet, so he put on a full cage lineman helmet and went in.
Now we have our first sub of the game. Dollar is going out, and Max McGee now is coming in as flanker.
After dropping his first pass, McGee got a 12-yard reception, and then this happened.
Star dropping straight back. He throws.
And the old veteran scores the first touchdown of the Super Bowl.
As the film shows, Bart got a little rush on it and threw a pretty bad pass, and it was behind me. And I said, well, I better reach back and try to break up this interception. And that's when I reached back, and the ball stuck right there. I mean, just the end of the ball right there, and I put it under my arm. Looked like we'd practiced it all year, So that was the first Super Bowl touchdown.
After the one-handed catch in the first quarter, McGee would snag another 13-yard touchdown pass, putting his total to 2 for the day.
Looks as time goes in the end zone.
I think Max McGee probably had the best football game he's had in the last 10 years.
This is one of the great Super Bowl performances.
He stands for all that's good. Beer and touchdowns and championships. How are you going to beat that?
Max McGee had 138 yards and 2 touchdowns in Super Bowl I. I wanted to see how many players did the same, so I put together this chart. Bill Miller had 2 touchdowns, same with John Stallworth. Cliff Branch, Dan Ross, and Roger Craig all had 2 touchdowns. Ricky Sanders is the first player to hit at least 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, as he had 193. Jerry Rice had 259 yards and followed that by 3 touchdowns. And then Michael Irvin had 2 touchdowns, and in Super Bowl 29, Jerry Rice had 3 touchdowns, 149 yards. Antonio Freeman had 2 touchdowns, Rod Smith had 152 yards, Isaac Bruce had 162. Keenan Markettle had 2 touchdowns, Larry Fitzgerald had 2 touchdowns, and most recently, Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson had 2 touchdowns and 149 yards. In total, there were 739 players with targets in the Super Bowl, and only 3 accomplished what Max McGee did. Max McGee did what 0.41% of all Super Bowl players have done, and I'm sure none of them were as hungover as he was. It is truly one of the most bizarre Super Bowl performances of all time, and I'm sure he had a blast. Hey, Tage here. Thanks for watching the video. Huge thanks to John Blah, who helped me for this video. His videos will be in the description. If you like this video, subscribe, comment if you want more, and I'll be sure to make them.